Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Since this is my very first video, I wanted to start with something big. If you are like me, you probably feel like there is a new Isekai every single week, and honestly, it is hard to keep up. 2025 was an absolute beast for the genre. We got some of the weirdest, funniest, and most unique another-world stories we have seen in years. So, if you feel like you missed out or you are just looking for something fresh to binge watch, I have got you covered. Today, we are looking at 12 Isekai series that started last year that you absolutely need to see. Trust me, some of these premises are, well, you will see. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about Headhunted to Another World, from Salaryman to Big Four. Most people get hit by a truck and meet a goddess. Denisuke Uchimura, he gets a job offer from the Demon King. The Demon King basically looked at this guy's corporate resume and said, yeah, I need that guy to manage my generals. It is a hilarious take on the genre because it is not about magic power, it is about middle management. Watching a salaryman use PowerPoint-level logic to organize a demonic army is surprisingly satisfying. If you have ever worked a 9-to-5, this one is going to hit close to home. Next, we have something completely wild. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Imagine a literal Super Sentai hero, a Red Ranger, transported to a standard fantasy world. The best part is that he does not drop the act. He is still doing the poses, he is still shouting about justice, and he is still waiting for the giant explosions to go off behind him. The contrast between his hero energy and the confusion of the local monsters is pure comedy gold. It is vibrant, high energy, and honestly, just a lot of fun to watch. Moving into something a bit more relaxed, we have possibly the greatest alchemist of all time. Our lead, Takumi, gets caught in a hero summoning by mistake. Classic trope, right? But instead of being sent home, the goddess gives him some extra alchemy skills to make up for the error. It turns out those skills are completely broken. But instead of trying to take over the world, Takumi just wants to craft, build a cozy life, and hang out with his giant, fluffy spider companion. It is the ultimate comfy isekai for when you just want to chill. Next is a gatherer's adventure in isekai. Our protagonist Takaru is sent to a world called Mynoghra, where civilizations keep going extinct. His job? Just gather. Excuse me. He does not have a legendary sword, but he has the gathering skill, which lets him find materials and scout better than anyone else. He travels with a tiny, adorable dragon named Bee, and it is just a very wholesome adventure. It is less about saving the world and more about the journey and the people he meets along the way. Now, Magic Maker. How to create magic in another world is for the people who love the science of anime. Cheyenne is reincarnated into a world that should have magic, but nobody knows how to use it. So, he decides to invent it himself. He spends years researching, failing, and testing theories. It is really rewarding to watch him finally pull off a basic spell after all that work. It is a bit more of a thinking man's isekai, and the animation for the magic effects is surprisingly beautiful. Then we have the Water Magician. Ryu finds himself in a very harsh, wild environment where he has to survive using only water magic. Usually, water is seen as a support element in anime, right? Well, Ryu proves that wrong. He uses pressure, temperature, and some really clever physics to stay alive. It feels more like a survivalist show than a typical fantasy adventure. If you like seeing a character overcome impossible odds through pure creativity, check this one out. This next one is for anyone who has ever looked back at their middle school diary and died of embarrassment. The dark history of the reincarnated villainess. Konoha gets reincarnated into a dark fantasy story that she wrote herself when she was 13. She is the villainess, and she knows exactly how cringy and deadly the plot is because she created it. She is basically trying to outrun her own edgy past self while trying not to get executed. It is a hilarious parody of the villainous trope. Okay, this next one might be my favorite premise. The daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. Kenichi is a guy in his late 30s who ends up in a fantasy world with the most relatable power ever. He can still use an online shopping site. He is literally ordering spice sets, modern tents, and survival gear from his phone while monsters are prowling nearby. Watching him try to explain a gas stove to people who use fire magic is hilarious. It is slow-paced, charming, and perfect if you like the life improvement style of Isekai. Let's get a bit darker with Apocalypse bringer Mynoghra. Takuto was a pro player of a strategy game, and he wakes up as the god of evil in a world that looks exactly like his favorite game. He is not actually a bad guy, but because he is leading a ruined civilization, the rest of the world sees him as the final boss. It plays a lot with strategy game mechanics. If you enjoyed shows like Overlord, you are going to love the world building in this one. It is great to see a main character who actually has to manage a whole nation's resources. Next up, a wild last boss appeared. The main character was a top-tier gamer playing as a legendary, terrifying woman named Luffus. Suddenly, he is in her body, 200 years after Luffus was supposedly defeated. He has to travel the world to find his old subordinates while everyone is terrified of him. The power scaling in this one is insane, but the mystery of what actually happened 200 years ago keeps you hooked. It is a great mix of action and lore. This one is just pure wholesomeness. From Bureaucrat to Villainess, Dad's been reincarnated. A 52-year-old dad ends up in an Otome game as the snobby Villainess. But he can't help being a dad. He starts fixing the students' problems, giving them life advice, and being incredibly polite to everyone. He treats the heroine like his own daughter. It is such a warm, funny take on the genre. If you need a break from all the fighting and drama, Villainous Dad is the way to go. Finally, we have Zenshu. This is an original series by MAPPA. It is about a genius anime director who gets sucked into a world that is a mix of all the stories she has ever worked on. Since she is a creator, she can basically manipulate the world like she is editing a film. It is visually stunning, as you would expect from MAPPA, and it is a really unique look at the creative process. It feels less like a game and more like a dream. And that is the list. 13 brand new isekai from last year. Honestly, there was something for everyone in 2025, whether you wanted high-octane Red Rangers or low-stress online shopping. Since this is my first video, I would love to know, did I miss your favorite from last year? Or which one of these are you going to watch first? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a new creator. I have got plenty more anime deep dives coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.